Right, well, we're back on. Just have to put the cable back in again. Right, so we've turned everything back on now. Obviously, you'll recognise that as static, analog static, because obviously all these TVs still have an analog tuner. Because obviously analog TV was still going when this was first made for a good few years. Actually, I think analog was turned off in 2010, I think. So obviously there was still a good few years of the old analog service still going, even after this set was made. So, but even now, I think most TVs still have an analog tuner anyway. So press TV AV on the remote, and that will bring up HDMI 1, which is what we're on there, and then that brings up the Sky box, which is what we've got connected on HDMI 1. Now obviously everything comes up on screen when you just make any adjustments, volume, and everything comes up on. Let's tune a different channel. Now straight away you'll notice we've got nowhere near as much flicker on the picture on this as we did on the CRT tellies. There's hardly any flicker at all. There's a very slight flicker, but you don't get anywhere near the flickering that you get. That's because obviously this isn't a CRT, it's plasma, so obviously the camera doesn't detect the slow, the quick refresh rate of the CRT. I think I'm right in saying that. No doubt somebody will pull me up. So you can actually film these better because you don't get the flickering. Just let me just. Now that, as you see there, that is a perfect picture. It's just on a still picture. It's on the TV guide and it's sharp, nice contrast, nice colour, perfect picture. So let's go on. So we say, see if we can what we can find. Something HD. BBC on it. Classic Corrie. Let's just have a quick look what's happening on Classic Corrie. Oh, Raquel, can you remember her? Now the only thing I've noticed is I don't think you're going to be able to pick it out really on the camera, but I've noticed is when it's on like a bright scene, the contrast seems to really dull. So you'll end up with a dull picture. When it's on a bright scene, say a white screen, showing something white, the whole contrast of the picture seems to go dull, just while it's on a bright scene. And then once the bright scene's gone off, now to be honest, I have got two plasmas in my collection, and the other plasma I've got has got a fault on it. But I'm doing the two plasmas both do the same thing. I'm wondering whether it is a phenomenon of plasmas, that's something that was a common issue, a common thing that was normal for a plasma. I don't really know if anybody else has noticed the same thing on that. It's going to be very difficult to show you really. I don't think, unless we just happen to, or even if the camera will, I mean again you look at that and that's absolutely perfect. I mean, that's not even on HD. That's just on Sky News. This box I've got here I use it as like a free view box or a free sat box. So I haven't got Sky News HD as I can show you on that. But yeah, when it's on a bright scene, it just the whole contrast to the picture seems to just go dull. And it kind of ruins the experience a little bit. So I just wondered whether it's, as I say, I've got another plasma in my collection and that does exactly the same thing. So I am wondering whether or not it's a phenomenon, or whatever the word is, of plasma screens. As I say, I've never owned plasmas in my life. I went straight from obviously CRTs as I was growing up, and then the first slim panel, if you like, I had was an LCD. And that doesn't suffer with that at all. So I am wondering whether it is something that plasmas had an issue with, or whether it's because obviously bearing in mind, as I say, this set's 2006. It could be a sign that the panel's getting tired. I really don't know. I'm not sure. Nothing comes up when you Google it. But other than that, this set's in perfect working order. There's no burning, which is quite unusual. Plasmas was suffered quite heavily with burning or image retention. and plasma screens were really bad for that, for like burning. So, you know, like say you've got Sky News on there, eventually if you was to leave that on for long enough, you'd land up with that image burned in on the screen. So regardless of what you was watching, there'd be a ghost image of that on the screen. And bearing in mind the age of this plasma, it's quite unusual for a plasma of this age to suffer with no burning whatsoever. I put it on a completely blue screen like that. There's no burning at all, and that's another reason really why I went for that, because there's very rare plasmas of this age with no screen burning at all. The other plasma that I've got, that's a Samsung one, and we will feature that in a later video. That has got a fault, and that's partly due to burning, but I think it has got some issues with it as well. But as I say, we will do another video on that another day. So yeah, overall a lovely quality Panasonic 37-inch plasma TV there from 2006, may have been 2005. I will get hold of my instruction book for it, and I can show you that as well. I say the sound quality is really nice on this as well. This has got.
Quite hard because when I've got all.
Just have a look at the menu as well. Actually, while we're doing that, just put the menu. You can see the menu quite basic, really. Doesn't really picture menu. So obviously you get all your picture adjustments there, contrast, colour brightness, colour management, and all the rest of it. Not really sure what PNR is. Might be noise reduction. Viewing mode. What else have I got on there? Sound menu. So I've got various options for the sound. One thing I have noticed on this, it's quite good really, that you can have your headphones. Normally on most TVs you plug your headphones in and the TV speakers automatically mute. What I've noticed on this one, that doesn't happen. So when you've got your headphones on, it doesn't disconnect the TV speakers, you have to turn the volume down, and then you can adjust the headphone volume. It's got a separate, you'll see there, separate headphone volume control, which you don't need to touch. Obviously set it to what you want, and then you leave it, and then you can, if your headphones have got their own volume adjustment, you can adjust it on the headphones themselves, so you don't really have to mess with that once you've set it to what you want. Ambiance, you got your standard bass, treble, balance on there. Let's have a look what else we've got. See what you mean? How that's gone a bit dull. I don't know if that's picked that up on there, because that's gone quite dull because it's on a certain image. So if anybody knows what that is, or if you own a plasma and you get the same thing, you've noticed the same thing, just let us know. And then you've got the setup menu. Again, some more controls there. Now, side panel. That is all to do with.
That's what I should say. How big is the demand, and is it growing?
Absolutely. On the ground, we are seeing significant increases. So
I had no clue what that was, but on googling it, why do I always get bloody blurring in me? Side panel is all to do with. It's a system that tries to prevent. I'm not sure, if I'm honest. I'm not going to sit here and try and make it up. I think it's to do with. I don't know whether it's to do with image retention that we was talking about earlier, or whether it's to do with like stability, you know, like framing mode, so it cuts blaring out. I'm not sure. Somebody wants to correct me on that, then please do. If you can Google it anyway, and it will come up. Power save, I think that gives you options there. You can put it in power save mode, so that might put the TV in settings where the screen's not so bright. So if you're worried about saving on the old electric bills, that was a bit of another bit of a thing with the plasmas, because they did, in comparison to, I don't think there was much between CRTs and plasmas in terms of energy use. I think there was about the same, but obviously plasma in comparison with LCD or LED TVs from nowadays, they were quite high on the old electric, but that the energy consumption was quite high in comparison to an LCD or indeed an LED TV. So it was something to consider if you were watching TV for hours on end, you know. But like I say, back when this was, to be honest, now most manufacturers, I think nearly they have all the TV manufacturers, Panasonic, Sony, Philips, Samsung, they've all stopped manufacture of plasma TVs now. The plasma TVs have had the day, and it's all LED. Well, even LCDs are no longer done now. It's all LED now. So plasmas have come to the end of it, and that's another reason really why I wanted this set, because I thought, you know, plasmas will soon become a collector's item, just like CRTs will. So I wanted to get one while you can still get one that's in reasonable condition, and there's still some decent ones out there, because they will become collector's items just like CRT. The plasmas had a bit of a rough time in the early days, because I think plasmas, certainly the very early models, suffered with they was quite renowned for not having a very good lifespan. There was talks of you having to have plasmas regassed and things like after 5 or 6 years or something like that, which that's really bad for a lifespan of a TV. You'd expect it to last a bit longer than 5 or 6 years, especially if you spent, you know, nigh on £1,000 for a TV. You'd expect it to last longer than 5 or 6 years, you know. Bearing in mind a CRT would go for 20 years and still be as good as new, you know. So, but I think that as technology moved on, they managed to overcome that, and hence the fact that there is still loads of plasmas out there of a good age that are still going strong. So I think that theory was blown out once the technology had evolved, you know, and that was it really. So yeah, so that's our briefing of the overall of the Panasonic TH-37 plasma TV. Very nice quality set. Panasonic Viesta, I think it is. I think most of their sets were them as well. And there's the remote, as I said earlier. Well, thank you very much for watching. If you like what you see, hit the like and subscribe button. If you think I've been talking a load of shit, let me know as well. And we'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Bye.